Here. Some teams have any easy path, while some teams are at the bottom of their group and need to beat historic rivals Gentlemates 2-0 to have any hope of going through. How's that for stress? All right, there is Liquid. Let's talk a little bit about Liquid. You know, I'm excited about this team. Liquid Enzo. His name keeps on coming up over and over again. They'll never make it. They can't make it. In fact, this whole box is full of ways they can't make it. But you know what? I went down to QC's office and I said, What's happening? Can they make it? And what do I find out? It isn't over. It isn't over. All Liquid need to do is for Fnatic to lose, Vitality to win. They have to beat Gentlemates 2-0, of course. But if Vitality lose, Fnatic lose, BL lose both their games. They're through. It's easy peasy.
All right, Mitch. I know it's stressful. Take a breather. It's chill. It's not that deep. It's not that complicated. He's lost his goddamn mind. But I know you guys at home, you also want to know how your favorite team can make playoffs because nobody has made it just yet. And I'm going to make it very, very simple for you. All you need to know is this one sentence, this one phrase for the rest of this week. That is, of course, if you don't win, then you're in the bin. All they have to do is win their games, and that is it. So without further ado, let's get the show started. Well, this might just be the most important week ever in the history of VCT EMEA. Every single team still has something to play for. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Riot Games Arena live from Berlin, Germany. As I said, this is a very, very big week, and I've got two very important people here with me in the studio. It's Kakuka and Mitch. Are you all right, Mitch? You're looking great, but I felt like you needed to relax a little bit.
Listen, it's been hard running these permutations. It's always good to get the last week and see so many teams have a chance to make it through, even Liquid. But yeah, it's fair to say some teams' chances are a little bit more slim than others.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I feel like for the first time in history, we get to the week 5, and not only we have some banger matches, is the fact that most of them matter for every team.
Yeah, and this is the thing. No one has made playoffs. In all of the other regions, we know who's going, but for us, it is a little bit different. But if we take a look at the standing, even the two teams, Giant X and Koi, that don't have a chance to make playoffs, they still have something to play for because, as we know, Kakuka, for Split 2, the standing will be combined. So at this point, they just need a win if they want to make playoffs for the next split.
Yeah, exactly. We care about the teams right now a lot, but for the next stage, the teams are going to be completely irrelevant. Both of the standings are going to be put together, and every result that they've had so far, plus the ones that they will have during stage 2, will matter. And we're not only talking about the record itself, also the map differential, the rounds, everything is going to come into place. And especially with how the table's looking, we might be even looking at the differential for rounds not that far from.
This is the thing though, Mitch. I feel like they can. I feel like we've seen Koi and Giant X do good things. They can get a win. They can.
Realistically, every Giant X game, as an example, bar 1 went to 3 maps. Some of them were incredibly close, up against Liquid 13-11. The narrowest of margins to not make a win, not have a win on the board. And it's interesting as well, on the other side, like teams like BBL, we're talking about Giant X and Koi needing this win to survive in the next stage. For BBL, winning both games this week could set them up for success in the stage to come already.
Oh yeah,
and they will also be the first team to win both matches the week that they have to play 2 matches.
I feel like Fnatic did, right? They beat Gentlemates and Koi in the same week, or did I?
I don't think so.
Did they not?
I don't think
okay, I need to brush up.
I might be wrong.
I need to brush up on my Fnatic knowledge. But I'm glad you mentioned BBL because we had Brave with us last week, and Brave very, very bravely admitted that Ascent is no longer their Istanbul. It's no longer their home map. But I feel like we can assign another home map for them. I feel like there's enough maps in the pool for us to find another Istanbul for BBL. In fact, I want you guys to help me select a team for every single map and tell me what the home ground is for for that team? We'll start
Complicated.
with, it is going to be, I'm anticipating some debate between you guys, but let's start with BBL. I want you to pick a new home ground, a new Istanbul for them.
Okay, so first BBL. So Ascent is out of the question. I like the Icebox, you know, keeping it simple but making it work. Reese even. Split,
I didn't mind their split.
Yeah, a split.
Leaving the word split.
I mean, the thing is with the split is that I did like one of the matches, but I do think that Navi played too much against themselves on that match.
You
I will
have
give
to
you-
agree,
yeah, I
by
will-
the way. You have
I will
to
give you the
agree.
split. I will give you the
to
split.
agree.
I don't think it's
Okay.
terrible. I will give you the split. Okay.
Okay, so BBL, you're welcome. This is your new home ground.
Good.
Have fun with this one.
Okay,
But
then.
for the rest of this maps, let's just start from this order. We'll go with Ascent. Who do you think can own Ascent now BBL don't own it?
So me personally, I don't know what you think, Mitch.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. I love the way Navi play this map. I think it's immaculate. I think it's great in most of the things that they do. Like the ideas are just simply for a map that has been in the map pool for so long without any change. I think it's great what they do. But, and it has nothing to do with you being here, I just love the composition from Liquid.
Liquid. Oh, wow. Team Liquid. Okay.
Okay, it's kind of hard for
Mitch?
me to say no to that, but I also realize the week that we're in, BBL and Foot, it's a Turkish week, and BBL losing Ascent, I feel like it has to stay within Turkey. Foot have looked good there. I don't think I want to take it away from Krax's KO on this map, one of the most beautiful displays I've seen. I find it hard to take it out
Okay,
of their hands.
counterpoint. Can we choose more than
No.
one map for one team?
No.
Then we cannot.
Wait,
We
hold
cannot.
up. Is Navi not in the question for this? Or we
I just said Navi.
Okay, so but you said Liquid. You wanted
Yeah,
Liquid.
I said Navi as in how they play the map, but Liquid for the composition.
Okay, you
So we've
guys
got
have to
three
agree.
teams in the running.
You have
Yes.
to agree. You two have to agree. I'm just here to.
I'm doing Navi, and I'm not biased.
Okay.
At all.
Oh,
Okay.
I like the Navi pick. I
Yeah,
got the one that I wanted. But what about Bind, Mitch? I'll start with
You're
you.
not winning today. Okay, you go.
You see, this messes up my order now, taking some of these teams out of it. I find it hard when it comes to a map like Bind for a lot of these teams. I can't even remember what I wrote down earlier. Where would you take it?
I had a couple of teams in the run. For me, it had to be a team that runs the Gecko, 1000%. I was between Fnatic and KC because I think that KC had
think I went
a
with KC.
huge challenge when playing against Koi because Koi was actually thinking outside of the box and they actually had to adapt to a lot of things. So I want to give them that. I would give it to Fnatic if we would have seen it more and would have seen some more depth to it.
Yeah, I think I was actually going with Bind as well for the reason of Martine. Martine blew me away. I think a lot of these maps, I went down to what player can you remember the most. Evidently not too well for me, but I think I'll lock in with KC. I'll go with you.
I agree with the both of you this time as well. This is we're good at this. We're good at this.
I mean, it's very complicated because we don't have a huge sample and so many things have changed. But yeah, let's keep going.
What about Breeze?
I have a favorite.
You do?
Don't give me that look. Yeah, it's Vitality. It also has to do with the composition. I think that they have managed to think outside of the box again, but this time I like the Astra. I think that each day they're learning what they can and what they can't do, and they're adapting very well to teams and to different compositions. Like they played against the double duelist, and they knew what to do. Well, Save knew what to do against it. What are your thoughts?
I think I'll go with you on that one.
Okay.
We'll lock it in. I'll make it easy.
Do you want to say something too?
No, I agree. But like Giant X, shout out to Giant X. Icebox
them further
after
down,
this.
though.
Icebox. So we got Breeze for Vitality.
Wait, this-
Icebox is next, Mitch. I'll start with you this time around.
I'm cheating. I'm going back to my sheet from earlier. I had,
okay.
yes, that's what it was. I had Liquid for Icebox.
Oh.
I think this is somewhere that realistically, I had it, right, they started out poorly. I'll give you that. The first week was not ideal. But 4 weeks later, they looked that little bit better. They got the win over GX, which was a very important game for them as well, and for the standings overall. I think that that's a Liquid map for me. And you took them out of
Kiko-
Ascent earlier on, so
Yeah,
where you
Kiko
going?
broke a record.
Yeah.
Kiko broke a record here, so
Reason
Bea,
enough?
you have to agree.
I'm fearing for my
fight.
life when I argue with Mitch against about Team
Already
Liquid. So
took
I'm
it
actually
away.
going to give you that. Yeah, okay. I'll give it to Liquid. I had some other ideas, but you know what? I think it also matches the color and everything. I like how things are turning around.
I bet Sliggy is loving this. Sliggy is loving this. I know how much Icebox means to him. What about Lotus? I'm going to hurry you up.
had a-
You take Lotus,
What?
Bea, you take
Oh,
Lotus,
no.
Mitch, you take
But
Sunset.
The stage composition, the fact that they can run it once, right? No initiator in the map. And the fact that they can do it twice.
It's
and
all
still
up to you
working,
now.
I like
It's all
it,
up to you. It's all up to you. Mitch, you take Sunset.
I would have said GX just to say, because realistically, they need a win, and they've looked okay on that map. So I would give them the win here if they
But
might not get it in
Sunset?
regular play.
Um,
Sunset?
wait,
No. That was Lotus. That was
was
Lotus.
gonna be
I
like-
was going back. I was going back. Whoa.
Okay.
Sunset and a tank on the wall. Is there any
Okay.
debate? It's General Mates. They have to be locked in there. They looked absolutely unbelievable on this map. They brought in things I didn't expect to see, and they worked incredibly well.
Crazy to say, probably at the beginning of the year, especially with Team Heretics, I would have also put them on Sunset. I think that they do very well. But yeah, I'll give it to the tank.
I feel like Heretics are kind of robbed here for Sunset, but I'll let you guys have it. So yeah, this is what we decided the home map should be. So with that in mind, it feels like for the first match of Giant X and BBL, they should ban Split, right? That should be the correct thing for Giant X to do?
I don't know. Well, for GX to ban, sure. For BBL, I think they can take it almost anywhere. I think the map pool's wide open for them in that series, and they've had some interesting bans. Maps that they previously looked good on, taking them out, like Breeze. I'm very excited to see where they take it. GX may be a little bit more narrowed in.
I think that both of the teams have been adapting very well, just choosing week to week. I think that that's what the format allows, just to prepare intensively for one of your opponents and thinking into their map pool and what you can exploit it is part of it. So I think there's going to be surprises. I don't think there's an easy answer to it.
Well, this is the thing. Giant X, of course, they can no longer make playoffs, but they do need a win, and that win could come into some level of importance as we head to Split 2, of course, the championship points as well. But for BBL, I cannot believe we are living in a timeline where BBL could be the first team in a split, Mitch, to lock in playoffs.
It is unbelievable. Even seeing them at the top of the group, I said this last week, I'll say it again this week, that they're still there. It's unbelievable. This squad, they didn't look good starting out the year. They've had some okay games here and there, but to imagine them topping a group, dominating EMEA, you can imagine schedule maybe a reason for KC and Heretics dropping off after Madrid, but even then, there's so many other teams I would have filled in on top of them, but here they are. Potentially one of the best in the region.
I'm a
Potentially
big
the
fan
best.
of the silent grind, you know, that everybody thinking that you're not worth much, that it's just going to be a resemblance of what happened last year, then maybe you're good for like a fight or two. But BBL are demonstrating that they are the one team in the region that can keep their plans in order and just adapt to everything that is coming and the new meta without changing anything yourself, like trusting in the process and what you've prepared for the year.
This is the other thing, as you guys take a look at my fun fact for this week, is that BBL have never made playoffs. They tried last year, they tried the year before. In fact, the last time they made playoffs, they made it through the Turkish league. They had to play the other Turkish teams, and they managed to make it in EMEA. So this will be the first time, and Kakuka, they could even go as seed 1, which means they could also have a pretty straightforward road to make it to Shanghai.
Yeah, exactly. And not only making it to Shanghai, not only them, also Foot can go. Like, we can be in a timeline where we've seen both Turkish teams. And
Never happened
not
before,
only
yeah.
that, exactly. And not only that, also thinking about stage 2, if they're managed to secure that seed 1, to get that extra point, the free buy, they're one match away from going to China and looking very, very good for going to Korea at the end of the year.
Yeah, as we said earlier on, the fact that so many teams are fighting for survival here, not just for this stage, but for the next stage as well. While BBL, they're almost fighting for a stage 2 crown right now, at least a road to playoffs, which is an unbelievable weight off their shoulders. And I've only ever seen these players play with a weight on their shoulders. Maybe the expectation of having to consistently be top 1, 2 matches in 1 week, it is a lot of pressure, but from what we've seen so far, they can live up to it.
This is where they fell last year too, right? So I'm a little bit nervous, but I believe in them. But before we bring the teams out, Kakuka, you found something very, very interesting when it comes to just how Giant X and BBL are playing their early rounds and later rounds as well. So break this graphic down for us.
Yeah, exactly. There is a lot of numbers. First, let me draw your attention to the top left where it says first 6 out of 12 rounds, and then last 6 out of 12 rounds. So this is the first half for every team here in the region, the win rate of rounds, right? Now, I'm going to draw your attention to the 2 teams that we're going to be seeing right now. That is going to be BBL and Giant X. Ooh, the graphics... It appeared again. Okay, lovely. As you can see, BBL are struggling a lot in the first 6 rounds of the half. They do not have very strong starts of the map. But then, the last 6 rounds, 72%. That is off the charts, of course. They're topping the league, which is outrageous. It's not only how prepared they are for the gun rounds, the amount of eco rounds that they can get and how they adapt to the enemy on the fly. That, by the way, is on Pora and most of it. On the other side, we see a Giant X that is just not looking solid.
I mean, it's the graph really speaks for itself. You can see BBL, we know them as a team that's slow to warm up. In a series, they're constantly losing first map, sweeping through. Their wins are 2-1s. But you can see here in the first half as well, I guess it's better than both halves being poor.
They have some hopium. hope, some hope, right, Mitch?
Oh, they have a lot. I mean, like right now you're seeing a team that, like, you think about this from BBL's perspective. They can pick up map 1, if they can come in hot into a series, hot into a half even, then they're going to be an even better team than the one that's currently sitting 3-1 in top of their group. That's a pretty good problem to have, honestly, if you can pinpoint it that specifically and still have the success even with those issues.
Yeah, and again, Giant X, they've been winning maps, so they just haven't been winning more than 1 map a week, so hopefully today could be the time that changes. That is all from us for now, and let's just bring out the teams onto stage. Here is BBL and Giant X. Well, this BBL roster has been on a roll lately in the regular season, and this week their eyes are set on securing a spot in playoffs, and maybe, just maybe, also coming out as the first seed in Group Alpha. But this is the thing, in order to get that, in order to kickstart their dream week, they have to get through Giant X. They are walking out on stage for the final time here in Stage 1, and they're looking to end on a high note they've not had so far in this season. They just need that one win here, and that could set them up for success and for victory as we head into Split 2 as well. And don't forget those all-important championship points. We have Epic and Pipson on stage once again. Good to see Pipson very animated, but Epic, as we've known and love him to be, he doesn't give away a lot. And the fact that he doesn't give away a lot, I feel like, again, has been a massive win condition for his team.
And so many reasons that he has to be smiling, right? But we won't see it. Sometimes, you know, in the camera, we've cut.
It's the sweat. It's the sweat wipe.
Yeah. Love to see that. But yeah, BBL is coming in for today with an incredible form and actually trying to prove some consistency as well. Not only thinking about playoffs, but also thinking about Shanghai and how things are going to be different. BBL has to be ready.
Well, no icebox, no surprises there. And BBL take away the Lotus, which means, Bind will be first.
Bind first up. I like this. I'm curious to see where else it goes, because BBL, right, up against Na'Vi, they took Breeze out, which is a map where they looked pretty decent. They dominated Koi. They don't decide to pick it. It gets left through, and they end up taking it out in the end, in preference, a split.
Split, actually, we were
home
saying
ground.
about the home ground, how incredible it could be. But then it would just secure what we've been talking about. Giant X being able to win some maps here and there, but never being able to close the series. And I think it would be devastating for them to then go all the way and then lose on Split.
Oh yeah, that's not where you want to go. I mean, if you're Giant X, you want to close this out 2-0, in fact. And for BBL, of course, if they win this series, they will be locked for playoffs. Let's talk about this Bind, because I feel like a lot of teams, you know, they've adapted to the Gecko. They like the Gecko. Mitch, these two teams, they don't seem to veer that way at all on this map. Would you like to see maybe the incorporation of Gecko here?
Well, I think if anyone's going to do it for BBL, it could help to improve some of the problems. We saw them get crushed by Koi, and look, Fnatic showed that Koi are a formidable opponent on this map for sure, but the reality is there were some things there that were lacking. They couldn't find the space, they couldn't follow up on it, and that hasn't been a problem on most maps for the squad.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to think about the fact that it's Giant X that chose this map,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
The last time that we saw them play in this map was against Fnatic. They were running the Euro, and it didn't seem very convincing. It's not only that the result was not very good, but it's the fact that they did not seem very comfortable with it. So maybe there's a change in the agents.
I would love to see some changes, but no Gecko, no party.
I also don't mind it. Like, from a certain perspective, you have your way of approaching the game, and yes, we're seeing a lot of teams pick up Gecko, and it seems to be the right choice for the majority, but Vlad was saying last week on the desk, you know, it's not a one-glove-fits-all kind of situation, and sometimes you have to play to your strengths. Are these BBL strengths when it comes to Bind? I'm not sure yet. As I said, there's been some question marks over this. Very weird in terms of the sticking with the breach for me. I would have liked to see a Gecko win, but hey, I don't think it's a bad composition. I just haven't seen them utilize it the way that they want to.
Yeah, also Giant X is starting on the attack with the double duelist. It has to be super explosive. We were talking about the data and the numbers, but they have to use it to their advantage as well, trying to gain some momentum, something that they desperately need, and maybe, you know, that's the path to secure their first win.
I mean, they got to show us why they chose Bind, right? Like you guys said, BBL's map pool is good. They're gonna have a less chance, it feels like, as the series goes on, but that is enough from us. Here, the players are in the server, the maps are in, the agents are locked, so it's time to get active. It's Steel and Pansy.
Oh,
It's good to hear from you guys on the desk. Yeah, thank you for that, Sue and the desk, for kind of breaking us, into this game and kind of teeing us up for this matchup, because the veto certainly caught my eye. Josh, how do you feel about seeing this one? Is there anything that stood out to you here? At least we've ended up starting on the likes of Bind, then obviously Sunset to follow.
I think Bind's an interesting pick. We haven't really seen Bind much from either of these teams here. I think one of the things we do need to look at is that, Giant X, they don't really have that much pressure on them right now. So are they going to be able to play without that pressure of everything and be a little bit more loosey-goosey? That could lead them to having a pretty,
stellar performance, right?
Yeah, they just can come out of the gate and you just don't really know what to expect from them.
You're absolutely right. We'll see if that becomes the case. On the other side, of course, BBL with a great deal to do here. This game could mean a great much for them. And oh, well, that's a start, isn't it? 3 back-to-back. BBL off to a roaring beginning. Just Redgar and Hoodie. And I mean, look at where they are. This is a mountain to climb for them. And maybe a good start here for Hoodie would be rather helpful, but not easy. And gosh, they've got a long ways to go here. That triple stack towards Showers was just perfect.
I like how BBL, after they got those kills, they know there's the spikes down, but they just instantly give it up. And what they're doing right now is they're playing retake on both sites. They're just waiting for Giant X to make the next play, collect the spike, move into a site potentially, and then actually go for the plant. And when that plant starts coming in, they have the numbers, 5 versus 2 for BBL. That's what they want to play here with.
Yeah, nice amount of discipline being displayed by them, understanding that if you are Giant X, you're hoping you might catch 2v1 in their favor. Right? You're looking to try and take that player down, but again, really well disciplined, playing kind of, as I said, paired up or even with 3 towards that A side, but sitting super deep, almost just giving up a lot, kind of just being shouldered so far by Elite. You should be able to get all the information once they do start getting a little bit closer. And there
30 seconds
The
left.
thing I'm looking for is the stun nade. As soon as that spike gets tapped on the site, that's when that combo is going to come in.
Okay,
I
let's
think
see.
Giant X should look for a kill or 2 before they go for it.
It's just whether or not they get allowed that. You can see that Hoodie's the one trying to lean a little forward for Giant X. The paint shell already went through as well, so you can see them try to toy with time, but we're down to 10 seconds. They've got to make a move here. They can put bodies on like Kushina. Beautiful beginning, and Andalusia flawless to kick things off. And when we're talking about Giant X have no pressure, yes, there's pressure with BBL, but it's lit a fire underneath them too. This is a game that can get them into those playoff spots, and we don't know quite what to make of them here on Bind, but so far, so good.
It's almost like we're looking at a completely different version of BBL after they lost to Gentlemates earlier in the season. It's just like, we've seen a BBL that we didn't see at kickoff. They've been really just, on fire, kind of giving it full speed. And right there off the rip, just a triple swing in Showers, getting 3 kills right away. That's a really good start for these guys. And they're going to try to ride that momentum as well.
As they should, right? And Kushina, massive work towards ult, and he's got that rifle out, and this is his area. You're not coming through. Cloud and Purple learning the lesson the hard way. Vitinho, do you fancy your chances? Maybe Jumbo walking the smoke. Okay, they take him down, but a quick fill of the void. Kushina, I don't know how close he is to that ult, but it's going to be right nearby. Rifle can be filtered back through. Everything looking good. No harm, no foul. That's a tricky shot until then. This is comfort for BBL.
Yeah, Kushina's one off of his ult. If he got one more kill there, he would have had it. And I do wonder if they're going to try to do a play to kind of force it.
Yeah.
It could...
nice for a bonus.
It would be great for a bonus, but I don't think it's worth it. I think they're not going to go for it because either way, you have to go for the Showers one. That could be pretty exposed. You got, double flashes from Yoru and Sky on the attack, and then equally, as painful on B-Long. That's just one that you don't really want to go for, not without a Sage Wall at the very least.
Well, it looks like he's back to where he was controlling rather poignantly, and BBL opting for a switch up here. Oh, this is dangerous. Oh, that was lovely.
Well, he's got it now.
Yeah, he's got it now. A little late in the day for this round, but I quite like that from Giant X as well. Kind of the paranoia being sent in a lot to try and control that shower area, maybe putting that on the high priority because he knew that they were 1 away from that ult. But again, they gambled a bit of a stack. They put the additional third body towards the B site, so now they have to kind of play this one back through. BBL showing some patience here, sitting towards CT. Site should be now cleared. A little bit of a free take almost there, just trying to test the early waters. Cloud, lovely work from him. And a comfortable round here for Giant X to answer back with.
Nice Andalusia flawless for Giant X there. First gun round, usually you want to take a slower pace on their attack. You don't want to give up any early kills. Okay. This is a very important round to get. And for them to just be like, you know what, we're going to send it. Double satchel through Showers. We're going to send it Sky Flash. We're going to paranoia from the backside of it as well. They really just caught BBL with their pants down and didn't let BBL stabilize in the, coming into the site. It's just constant pressure. BBL wasn't able to get into a position to even approach a retake.
Looking at that kind of momentum swing as well, starting to see if maybe Giant can get that lay of the land, right? Pull that body to the wrong side of the map, get that third player away from where they're heading. And a bit of a default to start with, heavier intention towards B, but again, early showers control. Kushner going to be tested quite consistently here. Purpo going to snag the ult orb. Get that to hand.
Looks like we're, in store for the first round. That's going to go work the clock a little bit. I know on pistol round it kind of went the distance, but that's only because it was a 2-on-5 for a minute.
Yeah, caution being shown there. Flash just going to be behind the smoke, so not going to get everything they wanted, but they can retake the space still. Flash decent enough to clear this close angle.
We are getting Kushner to early pivot over towards B. He does have the rocket ready to be used. The problem is, if they do a little bit, if Giant X does a little bit of like a jab towards B and then go A here, it looks like that's what they're doing. It means Kushner's not going to be out of position.
And to almost make matters somewhat worse with a question mark to it, actually the TP being taken is kind of big. That gets Reeve on the right side of the map. I just don't know whether they know this or not. And no pressure being felt from Kushner on B, nothing through Hookah. They're starting to believe in this and they're right to. This is where the action's coming, and Braid, the perfect place, set into motion by Pora. The swing comes down and Hoodie on the trade. The spike does get dropped. This is tricky. It was a 2v2 on the side, but Pora still in a great position. Could control this. Oh, stunning from Hoodie. Keeps control. Keeping in mind Purpo was nowhere near. That was all on Hoodie, and he succeeds.
That was a bit of a messy round, too. It's not like Giant X had any, super clean things going in there. The initial kills at B were great, but Kushner on BBL just being able to just, run back and forth and not be in a position to use that rocket, it's like, do you use it now? You're on a light buy, maybe, an eco round, potentially. So what's actually going to happen here? It feels like that was a wasted opportunity from BBL.
Maybe an opportunity to stabilize now, though, but again, tricky with the weapons they're coming in with. Sheriffs and Stingers, yes, that ult, as you highlighted, still in play, but they need an opportunity to use it, right? A moment. So they've gone for an aggressive start, right? Straight down middle. And Giant X seem aware of this. Either a step's been heard or something's been noted, because both players now paying attention towards this. And Purpo's turned his attention elsewhere, maybe trying to take that space up towards Octagon, but it is still going to be pretty much kept in control here by Cloud. And a player I want to keep my eyes on as well, Cloud is one of the highlight players in my mind when it comes to Giant X. Need to see him performing well here.
Looks like the regroup has happened. Pora hears this. They know. There could be a really big backstab coming out.
Timing's everything, though. Keep in mind where Hoodie is as well, so could be a little offset on the timing, but they have players in the right place. The positioning, I mean, Break still got his, right? But they couldn't make it out of the sight. Bit of a trade here. Reezy, what a shot! Back to back now. Hoodie all on his own, and he was the last man. The back line, they know where he was. And the spike deep in BBL's control. Rifle in Pora's hand, still a utility, still a flash. Reezy's got a lot as well to work with. This is huge. Now they've got to be patient, though. Make him work for this. They've got to work in unison as well. Can't take too many risks, but they might have lost beat as to where he is. So taking a bit of a quieter stance here. 20 seconds, he has to get that spike. Going to try and give himself the cross. Looking for that first player, and they're making him really work for this. Sitting deep towards elbow, not even challenging this, waiting to tap on the spike. And really has to make the safe choice.
So tough.
There's no good option here. And if he comes out of this alive, it'd be a miracle, being forced away from the angle, the flash to follow, but he's got maybe a fair 1v1. Reezy a little isolated here, up on the top. Hoodie, he's gonna find it. No trade for Reezy, and he's still only got that Sheriff. Gap closing towards the side, it's a gamble, and it's perfect from Hoodie. Excellent read and a great clutch, and maybe a slight misplay it felt from BBL there to not group up better.
Yeah, I agree with you on the BBL. Misplaying that towards the end there. I think they had a really good idea getting out of Hookah and not overextending too early into the round. They just stuck with their guns, kind of. I thought maybe Kushner could have been in a position to use his rocket a little bit better. I think GX, what they needed to do earlier in the round, since they have double duelists and only the one Skye, I think they need to get a little bit more information before they hard commit, because they ran into a 5-man stack, basically, and it almost cost them. Hoodie bailed them out.
Yeah, Hoodie was a saving grace in that. 2-3 now. That was with just those Sheriffs and Stingers. That was a very light purchase from BBL. Coming back in with the buy now. Let's see what we've got here. Seeker's coming through, the ult from Purpo as well. He's going to take early elbow control, but swing towards sight. Back of sight, there's 3 players and 3 victims. The paranoia was perfect. Purpo and Cloud in unison take the site in absolute outstanding fashion. You can't ask for a better site take than that. This is a save straight away.
Yeah, once you lose 2 players like this, it's instantly a sus round. You have to save the unwinnable situation. And it was a good attack concept here from Giant X. They got the Yoru ulti running in, getting the information of everyone, and then to follow Paranoia. We saw Fitinho throwing a Raze grenade in the back there. So as these guys go for a little bit of a hunt from Giant X because they're getting this momentum. It's a tack-sided map. They've got a double duelist comp. Yeah, absolutely, they can afford it. And it'll help them get closer to the ultimates as well. I think these ultimates are going to be really important. If Fitinho can get his rocket, that would be a really big deal.
Let's see if he can maybe find them. You can already see the Braves putting up a wall of resistance if he can. They are closing the gap a little here. Let's see if they can keep these rifles. For now, it looks like it will be status quo. They're not going to overextend. No. Okay, so both get to walk away with the rifles. Not an overt hunt from Giant X, but I kind of would have liked them to maybe pursue that a little further. But yeah, this side take was just lovely to witness. Again, the utility pour-on was fantastic, utilizing the Yoru almost just to force them away deep sight and being so ready to punish. Just perfect. Now, timeout for BBL because, I mean, it's 4 rounds in a row here. Giant X haven't really been dissuaded from what they're doing. They've been able to kind of take the space they want. They've been running the map pretty well once we got into the gun rounds. What would you do at BBL? You know, if you're on BBL's position here and you want to try and take that, either map control, the early info, what are you meant to do at this point?
I think it's a good idea to take this time out at this moment just because they can at least put Giant X on ice a little bit and then, you know, settle their nerves. I think one of the things we haven't really seen from BBL yet is they've been kind of passive in their areas. So on Pistol Round, we saw the triple swing showers, but we haven't really seen anything super aggressive from them. They've been playing, you know, a crossfire setup at Long B on one of the earlier rounds. I think it was like round 3. And aside from that, though, it's been these like, let's spot for info and then fall back to elbow or backside at B. And then same thing on A. It's like, let's spot showers and then play to fall back. We haven't seen them getting really active in places like, you know, down Long B or doing like a flash peek setup outside of Hookah or doing anything with, you know, 3 people aggressive on A. And they do have the breach to utilize for these types of plays. So it'd be interesting to see if they do something with that or if they're just going to kind of go back to status quo, as you said.
Yeah, again, a bit of a half buy really into this one. They still have those 2 rifles, so going to try and complement and supplement them slightly with Sheriff Stinger. And we saw how close they got before in this sort of round, but on the flip side, Economy's in a fantastic place. Fitinho 2 away from the ult. You already have Red Guards there and hoodies. Yes, they did burn Purpos and Clouds, but that's fine. That's secured them a pretty valuable round just a moment ago. So a default is going to be witnessed because anytime you come out of a timeout, especially up against a strange buy or a buy with just a weapon or 2 here, you want to identify where they are. You want to see if they are making those more aggressive moves.
You're expecting something funny to happen. And one of the things I'm not liking too much about what BBL's doing on their defense is they're way too split. They're not trying to do any all-in plays, and this is a perfect round to do that. They have 2 rifles saved, and then everyone else is on Sheriff and Stinger. This would be a perfect opportunity to do like a 4-1 stack and just gamble a site. And this dog is going to show everything that they need to see for them to get the shift over, but still barely moving.
Yeah, and now Breezy's in danger, and again, you're looking at who else is here. The rifle, Breezy was just swept aside. He did take 1 with him, but still, it's on Pora to maybe try and do something. Has he been noted? I mean, he's smoked off, but there's a late lurk coming his way as well. That's in the form of Red Guard, so he's got to be a little careful because that rifle could be a fantastic upgrade for him. Massive to get. That's Elite and Brave the ones to watch, but it's actually Pora finds Fitinho. So this pause has not worked well so far. Giant X going to need a couple more bailouts here. You can see Pora trying to have a little bit of a battle with Red Guard, but Red Guard wins. TP gets some real damage done, but Brave and Elite making that value known. They were the 2 that had the rifles. They had to be the ones to make the change. 13 seconds, and Cloud's got to be careful. This guy is a god, though, but he's only got 8 seconds. He has to commit to this. He has to do something. Elite and Brave getting closer by. The execution squad makes it, and they bring those rifles to the right site.
It's funny because when I watch this, it's almost like Giant X they're in the right position to close out these rounds. And BBL, there was hesitation. As they were trying to rotate to B, there's hesitation. It's like, is it B? Okay, we're going. Oh, wait, no, let's not go. And then they end up going again. And in this hesitation, you're thinking like, oh, Giant X, easy. They go in for free. But Reezy gets that first kill from Elbow. And then you're like, okay, what's happening? And everything slowly unravels. They forget about the Hookah player. And he's able to get one before Red Guard's able to come in and clear that. So it's just crazy to me how like both teams seem like they're a little bit on edge here.
Yeah, I think Giant X are struggling overall. I mean, the season has been rough for them. Those kind of 2-1 results never in their favor. On the other side, of course, BBL with a lot of pressure. Speaking of pressure, a quick escape. The evacuation button hit.
and the double TP coming in from the back. That means B site is completely exposed, and I think GX knows
They know this.
They know it.
Well, they're trying to commit to this. Pora's managed to slip a little ahead, but that paranoia is good again. We've seen this before. It's worked well. Didn't get to close down in time, and actually Purpo a little off timing on that, but Fatinho on the trade will secure the site. You're hearing the odds, right? Fatinho flying forward, finds Kushner, takes control of CT. This now becomes not unwinnable, but nearly. This is so difficult to try and play back in with no foothold towards that B site.
It's tough when you just lose B site like that. It's almost like an instant save in a lot of situations, especially if the enemy gets into the site without using any utility. It means they've got all this stuff for the post plan.
They're going though.
They are.
Yeah, Molly comes in, Fatinho, yeah, going to be noted, but they can't close the gap because you can see the stall. They're slowing them down here, and time is a big factor. They've got to get a move on, and Fatinho is holding them back. Not allowing any naughtiness this round. Reezy trying to make a run for it, but Fatinho, fantastic work from him. 4 in this round. Again, trading that initial problem when Purpo fell, and then just controlling the site perfectly. He's going to be lucky to make it out of here alive. Already they're very nearby. Cloud already having a little bit of a glimpse here. Bitty on the hunt. Yeah, Reezy just trying to keep this rifle. See if anyone can gap close. No, I think he's good here. Okay, so they get one away, but Giant X again.
Yep.
Noting that TP, controlling it well. They're in the right place. They committed. Everything went fine for them. They're going to be happy with this.
I want to highlight that actually. The play, the idea from Giant X there to get Purpo to go into showers. They've gone fast with the raised double satchel, and this is the perks of running the double duelist with Yoru, is that they send the Yoru in. They fake like they're going quick there. Here comes the trap, the breach done, the double TP in the back. Guess what? Yoru's gone, and now they just run up into B for free. They know the double TP plus the breach, that's at least 3 on A.
This time it's only 2 on A here. Paranoia play towards showers, often gifted over just to allow Fatinho that control. Smoke towards heaven. It feels like it's a very early commitment to this, and it is. Purpo chasing very quickly there. 1-for-1 trade out. He's taking a lot of space though. That's site control 1.
Worth.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd be happy with that. Pora does have his ult, so wondering if that's considered here. It's going to be rough to try and close gap to this though. Ults in, no plant yet. Pora clears Fatinho, good trade for Cloud. Site control not fully won over yet by either side. Reezy gonna tip the scales, it's BBL. They're winning back on the site. That little bit of hesitation, that little moment to play back through, set into motion perfectly by Pora. It worked out very well for them.
Yeah, I think one of the strengths from BBL is their retakes, so it doesn't really surprise me too much that they were able to, convert that round. But the thing that did confuse me was it looked really sloppy from Giant X, individually peeking 1 by 1, then getting stuck on the bench and stunned, aftershocked, comboed, and it's like, well, what are we doing here? We're popping the Viper ulti, we're not even getting the spike planted here, and we have the 4 versus 4 so early with that aggressive play from Purpo. We gotta be better than this, guys.
Yep. That's probably a round that Pipson's not too happy about. He's a cheerful boy, is old Pipson.
We'll save that one for a VOD review.
Yeah, that's one to look back on, because it did feel a little disconnected. And again, if you're going to sacrifice Purpo for all that space, you better bloody use it. Now, the ult on the other side's come through for Elite, so he's going to try and take away all that early access towards A, right? That's just an early bit of control. Reezy's got contact towards B long. No eyes towards showers, but you can see that deep hold coming out from Kushner. So they've got everything somewhat wrapped up, but I want to see if they can keep control of this. As Giant X have been pretty good at the push and pull on this map. And wow, okay, just finds Pora.
And that's also the breach ulti gone. Pora was sitting on that for a couple of rounds now. No chance to use that. I do wonder if Giant X is going to go back into A. They did use the Skydog at long B, so they're not going to have that to clear out the Viper. But what they do have is the Yoru ulti, and that could be a great combination with the Seekers from the sky as well, and they might just target focus that Viper on the defense. It doesn't look like it looks like they're going to fake it, then go B.
I've got your train.
No, he's going to get caught from the Seeker.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. And yeah, look at...
Oh.
They've just completely drifted past each other. Again, he doesn't kind of get all that punished with this. Purpo's done really well. He's cleared a lot of space here. And they've pulled the rotation. They've got, the red carpet is rolled out towards B. There's no one to stop them here. The only real factor is maybe that you've got Brave on a really deep lurk. I don't know if the timing's even going to be valuable here, but...
They know Brave's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
The Seeker caught him. He just needs to make sure that the timing's there, that, the breach... That he's thinking Brave snuck through hookah. Oh, this could be really weird.
Yeah, the timing's going to be a bit bizarre here. Hoodie got the better of him. Okay, so that's a clean slate, and now the pressure towards CT is really focused. They don't have to be too worried about elsewhere. They've got a 2v4. Everything is very comfortable. And BBL just being really locked out here, Josh. They are not finding what they need. I mean, the scoreline is still relatively close, right? We've got, where's it going to be 4-6 now? But still, it's a competitive scoreline. But the way these rounds look, Giant X are having their way with this map.
This was a bit unlucky, though, for BBL. Pora getting, you know, Purpo shot 3 bullets, I think, through the Viper wall, and he found Pora right in the head, and that's instantly Breach ulti gone. That, and then you have the Viper on short A, and then you're getting faked out by the Yoru, but the Sky. It's like, it's just so sad how everything just stacked up against you in that round, and you know, coming out of that, it's like, well, you just have to chalk it up to unlucky. Like, that's an unlucky, really, moment right there.
Yeah, they kind of got the rock, paper, scissors ults coming through as well, just to clear that Viper's pit perfectly. Purpo, as you said, and the Seekers on top. There's not much more you could have done, especially when it was kind of set into motion and kind of begun by a shot through a wall, essentially. So you got to suck that one up. But again, we look at what we've got here, a little bit of a back and forth. The money now starting to, you know, get a little bit worrying for BBL. They're going to have to start being rather protective about this, and Breezy again going to be forced away from this. So early progress, kind of standardized approach now. Coutinho relatively far up long, but no commitment behind this. And again, the third player this time, BBL opting to put them towards that B site.
It's looking like Giant X is running their anti-eco setup that they have, where the controllers are holding the A push, and then you got the double duelist with the Sky just working towards long B, trying to figure out what's going on and figuring out which side to go. Last time they did this, they actually 5-man grouped B. They didn't have enough info, and they ran into a stack. So let's see kind of how they play with this. It looks like they might try to fake this and hit the TP back to A. The controllers are in play for that.
Yeah, toying with that expectation, if they're considering it's the same as last round. I kind of like this late look for information, but Purpo again has found Brave, so already Giant X with a man advantage. Do they now continue towards the B site? They might do now. Fatinho gonna find the head of Reezy. It's on Pora, and just one by one, they're just flying in towards us, trying to catch him in the heels on the TP. Oh, Fitty! What a shot! A big backhand there to Pora. But the rotations didn't fully come in, so Kushner and Elite are still around here. There is still an opportunity. It's on Elite, really. How much can he achieve from this one? Hyper-focus towards Kushner. The paranoia doesn't land. Oh! He's still got 2! Kushner giving them a lifeline, maybe a chance if, but Elite's going to go huge if he wants this. A 1v2, it's not impossible. 15 seconds. Plant, they want it. It's a priority. Has to come in here. Cloud unaffected by the utility. And Hoodie just can slip away a little safer here. Does he have util for the post plant? He does. Cloud even has a flash too. Really difficult for Elite. So much to clear. Doesn't quite know where Hoodie is. Making a bit of a gamble. He's got to try and get this one towards half. Might have given himself that one, but the flash doesn't make it through the wall. Huge opportunity now. Elite, you know they had to check that. Cloud had to put his body on the line. And now a chance to defuse. Hoodie is straight under his nose. Elite clutches the hell up. That was outstanding from him. You don't see that every day. And again, what are you meant to do about that? That one flash meant that Cloud had to body check it to see if it wasn't a full defuse.
What a blunder. Oh man, just so many things went wrong there. You had such a big advantage, Giant X. You're going in through the TP, you're going into A site, losing 2 great kills there from, I think that was Kushner, right?
Yeah,
getting
it was.
the two Vandal headshots.
Yeah.
And then Elite coming out, the backside of U-Haul getting the kill on the bench, and then closing out that 1 versus 2. Everything about that was so clinical. It was really well played by BBL in that retake, and that is where their strengths are. They've been in those situations so many times that they're able to pull those out. Giant X need to tighten up.
This is... I'm wondering if this is now maybe a little momentum builder as well, a little bit of a confidence builder off the back of that, keeping the scoreline within touching distance. Again, a little bit of a speed up though from Giant X, looking like they want to pick up pace, and again an early pick.
You have your ulti still.
This is going to be gutting for them. Brave on the trade, finds Fatinho, and it's just a brawl towards long. So much on the line for it.
He didn't use the ulti one time this game, I don't think. He's had that for so many rounds, and he's been first picked. And not being able to set up anything with a trap, you know, having that rocket in play as well, again, here could have been a great combination. So, again, we're just seeing BBL 2-2 on the sites here. They're not really in a position to hold either site when you're split off this hard. The rocket could be a game changer, though.
Could be. Closing in towards that A site, sitting deep here, BBL.
They're going to go and dry without putting the Viper wall up? They might.
Maybe trying to get the timing right. 30 seconds BBL have been playing like deep on site. They haven't been playing all that close by, so maybe an opportune moment for Gianx to take the space. Yeah. So what was that? Elite besting his opposing number. What looked like ease, but now there's yeah. Here we go. Rocket comes out, and now time's a factor. Bye bye. That's 2. BBL
10 seconds left.
holding them back here. Redgar left in a 1v2 in the time. 6 seconds. There's nothing more to be done from 3. I don't wait. I think it was just afterwards. Oh my god, it's a 1v1. He's got a 1v1, but does he have the timing right too? Redgar, this is outrageous from Redgar! Pulls it off, a Red Bull clutch. I thought we were out of time there, Josh, but apparently not.
It was tight, it was very tight. And these back-to-back like clutches from both teams here, we're really seeing a close game because of it. It's from these heroics, it's from these early initial picks. A lot of like, you know, 1-for-1 trades early in the rounds, but you know, another big 2K here from Kushner with that rocket going in there. At least he was able to get his ultimate off because Para, he wasn't able to. So you gotta count the silver linings, the little things that add up.
I just can't believe that actually worked out. Like, legitimately, I thought the timing looked so off there. I thought it was wraps, but no. 5-7. Okay, pretty competitive here. Now, keep in mind all the wins that Giantx have pulled out so far in the season. Now, really keep this in the forefront. They haven't converted into full match wins. It was only map wins, and that was mostly on Lotus and Breeze. We haven't got to see them kind of leading in this scenario. So let's see if they can close out and get a win here, at least on the first map. Start things off well. Could be a different look for them. And Kushner, early damage taken.
It was good info early from Cloud's jump spot there, and we're seeing a big rotation over to B. They had really aggressive positions up short A, Giantx, with the Yoru and the Cubby, but they're just over-rotating here, and it might play out into their favor. If this is a B hit and BBL commits, this could be really big.
Yeah, it could. Giantx doing serious damage here. You can see Purple wants a bit more. Maybe a little over the top here. Got to be careful to not allow opportunities and then not. Fatinho and Hoodie making sure things don't spiral out of control.
I got this spot.
That's what Reezy's probably worrying about now. 1v4. Not easy by any means. A little bit of damage on Fatinho, but again, not really enough to change this. And you can see the crossfire. It's just a firing squad. Goes for the TP.
He's looking for a consolation prize at this moment. There's nothing really he could do. A kill and a plant would be
30 seconds
decent
left.
recovery from this round. But I mean, great defense here so far from Giantx.
Yeah, and the positioning on Redgar basically means that Reezy doesn't have anywhere to fall back to safely, right? And there's no point you're going to consider that. No, Redgar, lovely timing, good positioning, kind of playing around on that lug very well. And the fuse comes through. Giantx going to take the lead even further now, and this should unlock a couple rounds off the back.
Yeah, this is looking good for Giantx at this moment. This is the position you definitely want to be in. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit of a more difficult side. They're going to have to be a lot more active. They got the double duelists. But I like what they did in that retake situation. Redgar was behind showers. You saw the rest of Redgar's teammates just waiting at the CT's pipes. And basically, if Redgar goes out and finds him and loses the 1v1, the position is exposed, and now the other 3 can play the 3-on-1 and know exactly where to
like
look.
Flood back,
yeah.
Really confident with full information. Yeah,
no one's going to get picked off too early and then be too spread apart, giving isolated fights. Well played.
Okay, so this, if you're looking at the buy, I mean, obviously Frenzy, Sheriffs, and Ghosts, that's about it. It's a bit of a walk up behind the wall. Purpo's an aimer though. Only going to get 1 this time. That's a Guardian not too far away. That could be recoverable. I mean, I don't know how long Fatinho wants to stay around here. They're trying to police this, yeah. Redgar on the case, trying to keep control of it. Lovely from Redgar there. Just farming on up. And again, this round looking like it's falling by the wayside. No bigger threats. As Kushner makes it go a bit and actually finds Cloud.
NT.
Looking something no. Hoodie. Gonna keep things moving on for Giantx. That's 9 now.
And that's 3 rifles for Giantx going into this bonus round as well. It's going to be interesting to see if they try to do something a little bit crazy with this. They do have Yoru. He could do some sort of TP play early on. And, you know, even if they don't go for like a fight with it, he could do something to stress out BBL, make them waste time in the round. So I wonder if we're going to see that or something like that, because that is the strength of this comp, with this agent on this comp, on this map.
Let's see what Purpo's up to. It might be a little aggressive, at least where we're seeing him start here.
3 for 3 short A Cubby start.
Yep.
Mark that one down on the anti-strat.
looking for this.
Decoy.
Yeah, BBL sitting pretty... Oh! Purpo! So nasty!
Instantly rotates to B as well.
Oh, he's done his damage. That's exactly what you're talking about, though. Try and get aggressive, utilize him like that, TP out, keep him guessing. Hard to get that read now. So much weight on BBL's shoulders. This round feels so stressful. Red God just shouldering this. It's going to be...
He's gonna have to pop his paranoia here.
Yeah, try to stall it. I don't know if that caught it. Did. Yeah, Kushner gets slowed. He can't close the gap, and Red Guard waiting. Bucky ready. Kushner on the corner. Not the shot you wanted. Kushner still standing. Unfazed. And that could facilitate a plant.
Vitinho with his nade ready. As soon as the spike gets tapped, the nade's gonna come in. Maybe the flood behind it.
Might see it. There it is. Yep. Cancel on the plant. Cloud gets closer, but doesn't commit.
2 flashes ready for the next. And a big flank from Hoodie.
Yeah, the timing's going to be really rough because they've got a fight on 2 fronts. It's so hard to handle, but actually the corner gets controlled. Pora denies Cloud, but the trade is there for Purpo, and Hoodie finally strikes on the back lines. He doesn't have to overdo it. He can just fight in unison. It's gorgeous from Giant X. That was really well timed there.
That was really well timed. I like what they did. They, waited for the spike plant, then they naded. Then they waited for the next plant, and then it was a sky flashing and pushing. But he went alone. He was kind of like the sacrificial lamb to set up Hoodie for that flank. So without, that stall, that, delaying them from planting the spike and then keeping the pressure from the forwards, then, they could turn and saw a Hoodie on the flank. But because of all this constant pressure coming out, they were trained to the back of the site, and Hoodie was able to come out in the back and get 3 for free.
And this is what's going to put a little bit of a question mark in my mind when we talk bigger picture, is that BBL have had some exceptional series. I think that's pretty fair to say. They've had some big opponents. I mean, Na'Vi, Heretics, Koi, Na'Vi and Heretics as of late as well, and they've been good at those. You know what I mean? All right, relax. I can see you smiling. All right, I was heavier on the first
You had me
two.
on the first 2, and after that, it's like, well.
Hey, look, okay, it was, Na'Vi and Heretics are pretty good. So, I mean, by all accounts, this shouldn't be a hard game. Giant X have always been scrappy. They always seem to pick up 1 map and then lose 2. It just seems how they're fated this season. But is it this new freedom? What's happened here?
To be fair.
Okay.
Okay.
Not what you're known for, but sure.
What do you mean? I am. If there's one thing I am, it actually is fair. Okay.
All right. We'll see.
I've been critical, but I've been fair. Okay. Giant X, all the series that they've only lost once where it was a 0-2. Everything else has been a 1-2 loss. So it's not like they're, sitting out here getting dunked on by every team. And on the flip side of that, BBL's also kind of been overperforming, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not like
I
people
think that's a fair assessment.
I think people are surprised, like, oh wow, they're actually doing really well. It's kind of like a little bit of a surprise. So, combine both these facts together, and we're seeing, how this situation unfolds.
Yeah, this is a really nice position, though, for Red Guard. Oh, he's only going to be left alone now. He's got to get out of there. Elite's taken away for Tinio. And these rounds seem more dangerous than any. Seeing Elite get a rifle, too.
Was this pop too early, I think?
Might be. I don't know what he's going to plan to try and do with this one. No one can really do much off the back. They're very ready for this. Yeah, Kushner and Reezy waiting. Deeper control towards Showers as well. They're just being very patient. Yeah, retake going to be coming in from Giant X. Going to try and early pressure towards Lamps. Trade comes in and they're going to continue on this path thing. And Reezy needs to turn attention. The pinch comes in and now Red Guard re-swings from heaven. Keeping full control of this. But a slip of the net. Effective. Reezy's opened up a chance here.
That first kill at Lamps, I was thinking, or it wasn't even a kill. I'm like, oh.
Did the TP just bait him?
It might have.
Slowed him down.
Turkey on Sheriffs is so
30
dangerous.
seconds left.
Oh, but they're prepared. They're prepared for that. Played it very diligently. I like kind of sending the clone through on the TP just to kind of keep him guessing. It stalled him out, right? It caused him a second to consider coming back towards A. But still, 4 rounds back-to-back this half. Giant X couldn't have asked for a better start here. This is everything they would have wanted, really.
Yeah, this is great for Giant X. This is exactly what you need to have going into, the rest of the series. Obviously, if they're able to pick this up, it's not like it's, oh yeah, a walk in the park. It's still going to be a difficult series to go through, and you need to close out, and anything can happen. I mean, they can end 13-11 at this point for BBL, so...
I've seen stranger things.
Absolutely. We got the crowd, though. We got the 6-man for BBL.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a leg shown. Red Guard, Paranoia ready, TP taken, crunch time towards Showers.
Help Showers.
Purpo on the hunt. Oh, it's gorgeous. Purpo's gonna be happy with that one. Breezy and Kushner going down, and Giant X just handling everything that's thrown at them. There hasn't been, it looks like, a problem that they can't solve. The plant comes in and they take a little bit of a breath. They sit back a little bit deeper. They don't need to do too much. You can see what BBL wants. They wanted to pick off the back of that. They'd love to have had a fair fight. And Giant X just aren't giving them it.
Yeah, they're giving up the site completely, and for good reason. Once BBL plants the spike, they're committed here, and now it's a 5 versus 3. They can come in together. Maybe even Redgar uses his ultimate here to get some information of what the positioning is like for BBL.
And I think you're reading his mind there. Perfect. So Elite going to be forced off the angle, forced to invest utility, but they do need to start getting a move on here, because there's still a lot to try and clear. Brave's going to control towards Heaven and CT. Elite does well to find one. He knows Redgar's still around. But Bora spammed out of position, and it's all on Brave. This guy can be a monster, but he can't even deny the defuse. There's so little to do for him. Desperate attempt. He needed some of these bullets to work, and they're not going through. Defuse comes in. Giant X up to 12 here. And again, they seem so prepared for every eventuality in this.
It's funny to see BBL trying that exact same play on their defense with a trap toward Showers, and it just couldn't work out because Purple was going in there as Yoru, and instantly as soon as he got stunned, bam, he's gone. He's teleported away. And now BBL gets caught in the Showers there. 2 of the players there getting crunched, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Nowhere to go. So really well executed there from Giant X.
Good job, guys. Yeah,
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. 19.
Not even super hyped, just like, not even like, nice, let's go, good job, guys. It's a good job.
Ooh, going aggressive, Kushner, quick TP, and it's Purple again.
Yep.
His value on these early kills is outrageous. He's doing so well at that. It's an early pick, backs away, down to 4 now, took away Elite. It gets a little bit trickier maybe in that post-plant positioning potentially. We have to wait and see. As it stands though, BBL have a little bit of control, but look at the rotations. They are all in. 4 players here ready to go. Dog gets invested, first denial. Breezy has to pause, maybe considering the Seekers. Trade comes in, it's a battle through from Showers, but it's Brave. A highlight player. A quick investment of the ult towards CT could give them some space to work with, and it's a 2v2 now.
A little bit of space given, but they didn't do anything with it. I feel like it was a little bit of a wasted ultimate for there.
Maybe hoping that they get the plant in that time, but it's fine. They've gotten away with it, and they didn't get caught on that. Flash, yes, but they've already kind of gone close to the side. The drop down's there, swing from Brave. That's 4. This guy is out of this world. Brave gonna find 5 and give BBL this round. That is on his shoulders.
There you go. Gotta get that, Brave. So well played by BBL there, getting into the site there pretty easily. Big kills from Brave from the side here.
Oh.
Just love to see that, huh?
Guys, again, when you talk about this roster, when you're talking about BBL, a lot of the key factors in my mind has been 1, Kushner. When he's been having those good games, those impactful games, incredible player, and then Brave in the same breath. Those 2 have been your highlights. So seeing him starting to warm up here, that's pretty good for the bigger series, because trying to come back from a 6-12 scoreline, not going to be easy.
I think Brave has been one of their big players for the mid to late rounds, especially the clutches. He has been one of those players for the team, and we've seen kind of flashes of that from other players on the team, like Elite, for example. You know, we can't ignore him. His impact on, you know, Cypher, Viper has been pretty important for these guys.
And I love how confident Purpo is. I feel like he's been given that kind of freedom just to make quite aggressive plays, commit behind it. Yeah, you can TP out, but he's willing to kind of double dip almost. Like, this guy is pretty confident. And speaking of confidence, walkabouts are happening. So they should be very firm in their positioning here for Giant X. They know what's coming their way. Yeah, there could be a pivot, of course. Still, this positioning is huge.
They need to have a better setup, though. They know what's happening. They know that the hits B, but they're just not in a position to help each other fight.
I mean, Hoodie somehow found Reezy. That spike dropped. Cloud gets an individual fight. This is, you know, very bit by bit. Good response from Elite and then doubles down, taking away Hoodie and Cloud. Now the cavalry's on the way. Purpo needs to play his life and not die right now. He needs to just live. The support system's going through from Hookah and Long. Plant's gonna come down, Purpo gonna pop the ult, and it's time to go. Gonna be spotted early, gonna be noted, but he's gonna find everything. This Viper's Pit ain't subtle now. Redgar finds Brave, and it's down to just 2. Elite and Porridge trying to hold on to this one, and it's all on Elite, and he's dead gone and buried, as is map 1. Giant X looking like they got a new lease of life here. Vine sits in their pocket. The rest of the series is still to come up though. Sunset and Split still to get past. I'm almost praying we don't get another 2-1 here.
I think I was calling it too early in the green room that Giant X could really make this a thing, so we're gonna have to, you know, see how this develops.
Yeah, let's sit around, let's find out. This series is not over.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.